welcome to another segment of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. I am so glad that you guys chose to come on tonight. I have a very special guest. I'm so uber excited to introduce you to Philip Brandon. We've been chatting back of house, and it's almost like we've already had the interview. So it's over. I guess we could just go home. No, I want you to hear everything that he has to say. It is such a great Monday. So glad you guys are coming in. I see you up there. You're coming in. The comments are starting to pop up. Please do me a favor. You know the ritual. Every Monday, I have you grab your handheld. And so, what we're going to do together, yes, we do it as a family. I want you guys to invite. I want you to share. I want you to invite. I want you to let everybody know that we are on the air. Yeah, let me just turn down the volume here. Yeah, I see us. We're on. Let's take a look. I like to monitor and see who's watching. I know in a little bit, Colleen's going to come in. I see Philip and Marcus. I see, oh my God, everybody's coming in. Listen, so while you guys are coming in, comments are coming up. We're going to chat a little bit, but first of all, I want to present to you my special guest tonight. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring him on so he can share in the delight of this wonderful time with me, Philip Brandon. Hey,
Hey, what's going on?
you got it. You got it. It's you. How's it going?
I'm doing so well on this hot Monday in LA, but doing great all the same.
Gosh, beautiful LA. I'm kind of
Yeah.
jealous. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat the weather. It's so funny because I was thinking, I'm like, we were complaining about it being a little bit too cool, and then we get 2 days of it being in the 90s, and we're like, oh, it's too hot. Like we can never just be happy out
Make
here,
up
but
your mind already. Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, we are so honored to really have you on the platform. And as everybody comes in, we're definitely going to see people coming in the chat.
Oh,
So at the
cool.
end, yeah. So at the end, I'm going to need you to go to the page, either page, my personal page or the branded page, and just start chatting with them or responding to some of the because some of the questions I may not be able to get to,
Okay.
and yeah, so I definitely want to spend some time with that. Well, I want us to just go right on into the conversation, just like we did before anybody else was looking, and just start talking about you. You're so very interesting, for real, Philip. I mean, and you know what? On the sidebar, I know this is kind of goofy, but you've got two first names.
Yeah, two first. I got two first names. And the funniest part about that is oftentimes people remember the Brandon. So even close friends of mine will introduce me. They're like, hey, this is my best friend, Brandon. And I'm like, hey, Philip, nice to meet
Oh no, you're
you. Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, it's just for whatever reason, people's brains remember the Brandon first. And so they're like, oh, but it's all
And watch me do that tonight. And
good.
I'm sitting here going, really? Are you serious? And then I'm going to do it. You're going to be like, no, it's Philip. But
Like, I think it's Philip first, but it's
it's
all good.
Philip first and Brandon second.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Well,
at least they're calling me. It's always good to be acknowledged. I say Brandon, Philip, whichever one, it's fine.
you'll answer, right?
And I respond to both.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that. Oh, so I have had such fun researching you and finding out so much about you. I know a lot about you. My family doesn't. So I want to just kind of start picking your brain and sharing with them about your music life early on. I found out that your dad was a jazz lover, or
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So that the my first, I always tell people I feel like I was born later than where I sit and live musically because my
How
first piece of music that my parents bought for me was a 45 of Ashford and Simpson's "Solid as a Rock."
I'm jealous.
and and I used to play that thing incessantly. You know what I mean? Just play it all the time. And so, but my dad, the funniest part about him when he was still around was you could play any piece of jazz music, not have a cover. He would 9 times out of 10 be able to tell you, oh, that was so and so. It was recorded in so and so. That's the live album. That's this or that was that. And I would just be sitting there in awe, like, how do you, but he just really had a love for it. He loved music in general, but in particular, like jazz. That was like his go-to. That was his thing. So
Really, really.
yeah.
And then mom, I was so blown away. I mean, Ray Charles, she traveled. She literally traveled.
Yeah.
Mm. And I'm even more jealous now. Do you know?
Yeah, so I mean, it was music was definitely in the house growing up. Yeah, so
Yeah.
mom toured. She was a what they call a Raylette, touring and the country with Ray Charles, and just I was just like, man, a lot of that stuff when you're younger, you're just like, oh, okay, that's cool. You don't really know how significant it is, and as as I got older, I'm like, wait a minute, mom, you tour with who? Ray Charles? What?
Legendary Ray Charles.
Legendary.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So, how do you feel that that impacted your life musically?
it did in the best way because, like I said, a lot of times, um, you know, what you hear and what you're exposed to as a child, it's important because it gives you a chance to say, oh, I like this or I don't like that. And so I think when it comes to music, I was always drawn to like live instrumentation. I loved how I didn't have language for it when I was younger, but being older, I'm like, oh, I really enjoyed live instruments. I
Mm.
enjoyed the feeling that it's the interpretation. Every musician has their own interpretation, and then they come together and create this synergistic piece that is just incredible. And so
Yeah.
I think that's what kind the foundation that I got, having both parents just be so into music and have it just blaring in the house at all times. That's kind of where I got that from.
Yeah. So who were some of your favorite artists growing up?
So some of my favorite artists growing up are some of them that are still now today. But
Sure.
one of my favorite groups is the Whispers.
Oh,
I was always a fan of, again, now that I know what it was, I love song stylists,
mhm.
because you have singers, you have different types of singers. You have singers that are kind of more singing in the pocket. You have singers who are more pop, more. I love song stylists. So, I love your Phyllis Hymens, I love your Nancy Wilsons, I love anyone who could interpret a melody, make it their own,
Yeah.
and take you on a journey, and that journey was never ever the same anytime they performed the song. You know what I
Mm.
mean? And
Wow.
so I noticed that my ear tends to lean towards that type of artist.
Really? Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, yeah. So I have two younger brothers and a younger sister. So I'm the eldest of four.
Oh, okay. They look up to you. Yes.
Yeah. Wait. No, say that again. I didn't hear that part. Wait, say that one more time.
So they look up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look, you're like, wait, do they look up to you? I'm not sure. No, they do. They definitely do.
Did you see my eyes?
Yeah, you
Oh.
were like, you're like, I hope they do.
Oh my God, that is so true. I had my feet
Yeah,
crossed.
you're right. And I have to just say they're just so supportive. Anytime they can come to a show, anytime that they are just
Oh,
there and just my biggest cheerleaders. So I'm so
really?
so blessed to have that family unit that has always been super supportive of anything in the
Supportive.
arts. Mhm.
So are any of them in the arts with you as well?
Not one.
You're
No.
kidding me. How does that even happen?
Yeah, it's just I guess I was the only one who got the bug.
Yeah.
Yeah, one who's in IT, one who's in logistics, and and others in school. I mean, so doing quite well, but I was the only one who went this direction. So
Wow. So do you ever have a dream of just being successful in music, Philip?
yeah, I feel like I'm kind of always dreaming,
Are
and
you? Oh,
yeah, because the funny part is we were chatting even before how, there's certain things have to look a certain way before I do, and so I'm kind of always in that space. But yeah, I definitely, even when I'm writing music, I kind of write from a place of how would I perform this live? You
oh,
know, how would this sound if it was on the BET Awards or whatever, an award show or this or the Grammys? Like, how would that feel? And so I kind of try to live in that space. So I'm always dreaming of, you know.
wow. Because I do remember as a kid at 9, just listening to all of the great music from the late 70s and then the 80s. And I heard you mention Nancy Wilson. Then there was Chaka Khan. Uh, and then, of course, I was introduced to Whitney early on. Do you remember that with the dress halfway and the flowers, the green plants in the back? Her first
Yeah,
CD. I was loving Whitney, and it's like, oh my, didn't she do a duet with Teddy Pendergrass? I think. Did she
Whitney
do
with
it?
Teddy Pretty. Maybe
Hmm.
I can't
That
think
kind
of it now, but now when you said that, it kind of makes me think it
of,
was something that wasn't like, like on the A side, if you will, but it was like
right
something that was, yeah.
on a B side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I remember hearing it like once or twice, like years
Mhm.
ago. But now,
Yeah.
now you're making me want to go research.
See, and I'm going to as soon as I get off of
Right.
here. I'm going to Google. Google's never wrong. But Colleen said yes, Sabrina. I think so. See, and there's Colleen. We were talking about you
Hey,
earlier.
Colleen. That's so cool.
I know. We're so glad that you're here. Good to have
Yeah.
you on. Good to have you on. We're going to go to break in just a little bit. Do I want to do it? I think we can go now. We're going to go on our first break of the night. When we come back, definitely there's more conversation that I want to share with everybody that is starting to now come in. Um, I want to talk about travels, your time in college. You're a Morehouse man. That's amazing.
Damn.
I love that. I love it. I love it. And so when we come back, we're just going to just dig right in a little bit
Awesome.
more. So hang out with me. Stay there. Don't go away. You guys, don't you go too far. Get your popcorn and your wine and come right on back. There's so much more that we have to share tonight on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community. Late Night is still making noise. Composer keyboardist Jesse J.T. Jazz Thompson, along with Billboard charting saxophonist Judah Seeley, collaborators of the music masterpiece Late Night, available now on all digital platforms. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. If you are just joining us, it's my special guest that's on tonight, Philip Brandon, not Brandon Phillip.
Right. That's gonna be your new thing. You're gonna say that at
I
all
know,
times.
I already know, right? That's why I'm getting it out of the way. So just in case I say it, it's like, just give me the look and I'll say, darn it, I said it. I said it. But just so glad to have you on, Philip. Really, it's an honor to have you on this platform. Such a talent, such a great creative. But aside from that, I was just sharing before we went to break. You're a Morehouse man. I mean, like, congrats on that. That's
Thank you.
amazing. How was the experience on
It, it
campus?
it was one that was like it's hard to put into words. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I got a chance to meet some of my closest family, brothers and
Sure,
sisters at
sure.
Spelman, which was right across the way.
It is.
That
Yeah,
until this day, we are just super tight, and a lot of times everybody's doing their own thing, so we don't get a chance to hang or even talk every single day like we used to. But I mean, once we get back together, it is like no time has passed. So that's really cool. And then, a lot of times when I'm getting a chance to tour and do all kinds of things, I'll get a chance to see certain folks in certain cities. So that's always a plus. I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were living here. But I'm like, that's the power of social media now. They're like, oh, we saw you were going to be here tonight. So that was cool.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So the music part of you,
Mhm.
how how did music impact your college life, or did it at all?
It absolutely did. So I always attribute Morehouse, particularly the Glee Club, because that's where even though my degree is in marketing,
Yeah.
my I got a scholarship to sing with the Glee Club, which was the official, singing ambassadors of the school. And with that scholarship, we were required to tour every spring, do
Mhm.
a big spring tour. And that's kind of what got the juices, flowing to say, oh, wow, people, bring you to a city, you get a chance to share your art, you get a chance to, see all kinds of different things. And I'm like, wow, people, there's people that do this for a career. That's cool. So I really attribute them for that because, had I not had that experience, I'm not sure that, I was kind of going the marketing route. I said, well, this is where my degree's in, so this is where I'm headed. And
Sure.
so, and of course, I would have always sang, but I don't know that I would have, necessarily pursued it as a profession or as an artist. So that was a huge thing for me. And even in terms of like on the technical aspects of it, I learned how to read music there because we're reading classical scores and things of that nature. So it was definitely a big thing that helped me musically.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So then, what was your what was the turning point for you? What was that major thing that took place in your life to get you or change the trajectory in music for you professionally? Was it while you were in college or after you graduated?
It was after. So once I finished school, I was fortunate enough to get a job literally right away in that summer. So
Oh, that's
and
cool.
yeah, it was awesome. Sorry, it was an internship for the summer that
Ah,
that before the summer was even up, they were like, "We love you. We want to offer you a full-time position, this, that, and the third." And I was just like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And this was actually at a company out in Atlanta.
God.
And but I was working there. I was there for a couple months, and I was the youngest guy in the group. The person who had been there the least amount of time before me had been there 10 years. The eldest person had been there for 35 years, and it just seemed like a very settled company. And I just at that time I'm like, I don't know if I'm ready to just like be settled. I literally just got my degree 2 months ago. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
I remember talking to my dad about it, and he was saying, "Well, son, you're never stuck anywhere." He's like, you always have, you can always, leave. You can come home. You can do whatever you like. You don't feel, because there's a sense of, this is around the time that the economy was doing weird things. It was hard for a lot of people to get jobs, and so. It was kind of a sense of like, well, be grateful, and he was like, yeah, be grateful, and you are grateful, but you're still not stuck. You
Right,
know what I mean? And so,
right.
so eventually, I decided to move on back to LA, and that's when I
Mm,
discovered, oh, it is a little harder to get a job than at that time. And so, actually a friend of mine, I was doing a jazz show in LA, and I was, promoting, telling some folks about it. And a friend of mine that I had sang in a a cappella group with reached out and said, "Hey man, I didn't even know you were back in town, but I'm now booking singers to go on cruise ships. Do you think that you would be at all interested in going out for a few months to sing?" And I said, "Do you think that you would even have to ask me that
I'm
question?"
gonna
Like,
ask you, how quick did you say yes?
I I said, when do we leave? I don't know. I don't know what I'm singing. I don't know what I'm doing,
But
but
I'm
this,
there. Oh
yeah.
wow, how
And so
awesome!
that was another cool step because in my head at that time, I was thinking, I'm still looking for. I'll do this in the meantime while I look for my real job.
Sure,
And
yeah,
so then I ended up doing two contracts with them, and they were both 6 months apiece. And I mean, I got a chance to see the entire world. I mean, we were all up in Scandinavia and the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and I mean,
mm,
just everywhere. And got a chance to see and meet some really cool people from all over the world. And so that was kind of like the thing that got me. That was like the turning point, if you will,
was
to like,
it?
oh, okay, this is a real possibility of being able to do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why I like authenticity, because if I could show you like the question that was next was
Hmm.
about share your travels with me.
Oh wow.
I, I could lie, but I can't. But I'm not.
Yeah, and I love to travel, so that is funny that you would even have that as a
Yeah,
question up next. Yeah, that's one of
yeah.
my. I love seeing the world. I love being new places and meeting new people and experiencing authentic cultures and just and great food. And
No, can't forget. Can't
actually, that's
forget
that's
that.
that's like number one. But
Number one, food.
right.
What
Where's the
was
food
it?
places, please? Give me
I
some food.
know. Show me. What was your favorite place to visit to date?
Wow. So I don't know if I have a one, but I'll give you a couple of them that were really, really memorable. One was the Dominican Republic. I was there a couple
Beautiful.
couple
Yeah.
months ago or last month or so. There's a little country in Eastern Europe called Estonia,
I
and
know
it
that.
yeah, and it's almost as if this place is like sealed in like you get off because I was working on the cruise ship, so we got off and we walked into the center of town,
Hmm.
cobblestones. Oh, I mean, it literally looked like you're just like walking into like the 1500s or wherever. They just kept everything so pristine.
Sure.
So that
Sure.
was really, really cool. Yeah. And then my time in Asia, I really loved Japan. Japan's one of my top places. I was a lot of people don't know I actually studied Japanese
I
for
knew.
4 years. Oh, you do? Oh, well, of course you know. Yeah,
I was researching and I found that out. Yeah.
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 I studied for Japanese 4 years in college, high school, and 2 years in college. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
So is it really as difficult as people say to learn that language?
so
Phil?
I would say it's not as difficult. It's harder to learn to read it because they're completely different characters.
Got it.
Uh, but if the speaking of it's not as difficult. But I mean,
Hmm.
the part that makes it difficult is how often do you get a chance to practice it? You know what I mean? So then you don't use it, you lose it, sort of
True.
thing.
True.
So it is a difficult language, but it's not as difficult as I think
Oh, okay.
people
Okay. I've always wanted to be fluent in French. And
think.
it was scary because Japanese and French were the two languages where people were saying, that, that's so hard. And when people say that, it makes me it intrigues me all the more. Is that crazy or what?
No, of course, yeah. Because that's probably also the journalist part of you. It's like, oh, that's hard. Okay, let me dive into it more. You know what I mean? Like, Yeah, you're like, let me go in and see what's going on here.
Follow me. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. But French definitely
Mhm.
is a language. That's on my bucket list of I know that I am going to speak French. And
Mhm.
then one of my Facebook friends, Tracy Eileen, moved to Paris.
Oh, wow.
I said, now who does it? All of her life she's lived in the US. Then
Mhm.
one day there was this post, and I was like, well, dang, she didn't even tell me she was moving. And now she doesn't even look like she's ever lived in the States. That,
She is a local. She's Parisian. That's all, She's like,
no!
she's
Oh
like, I
my
don't even know if she speaks English anymore. She's just gone. She's like,
God, I'm out of here.
right,
Oh
right.
my
That's
gosh.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, I know, I know.
Yeah, Paris
Wow.
is really cool too. I enjoy my time there. You talk about folks who are Parisians want you to at least try to speak French. You
Do
know?
they?
Oh yes. They
Oh,
will they will say even if they speak perfect English, they're gonna like, no, you try French first. And then they'll help you out, you know. But yeah,
oh
it
my
was
God.
I've been there a couple of times. It was really, really cool.
Oh, have you like performed in
Uh,
Paris?
I haven't performed there because that was the two times I've gone were when I was working on the cruise ship. So we were performing on the cruise ship, but
Got it.
not actually in Paris. No.
Right, right. I'm trying to figure out if I ask this question, if it'll flow quickly or if we'll elaborate. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that break and
Okay.
then we can chat until the end of the show because I only have two breaks. But I definitely have got some more questions. And I want you to think about it. I
Mhm.
want to come back. I want to ask you about a special moment that you had with like a major artist who truly left a great seed and influence of significance in you.
Mhm.
If you can if you can share it at all, because some things are pretty private, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But it seems like you've kind of um you're well seasoned, if you will. You've been
Okay.
around the world and you've met a lot of people. And so I'm sure there are some special moments with special people in your life. And if you can share, you can. And if not, I'll understand.
I'll share. I'll share, of course.
Right! It works every time. No. Well, listen, hang out with us. We'll be right back. You guys don't go too far. We've got more conversation coming up with Philip Brandon on tonight. I'm so glad you guys are here. I really am. So don't go too far. We'll be back in just a little bit on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide.
Late Night is still making noise. Composer keyboardist Jesse J.T. Jazz Thompson, along with Billboard charting saxophonist Judah Seeley, collaborators of the music masterpiece Late Night, available now on all digital platforms. Join us every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time to hear the stories of artists you love and discover artists you'll learn to love on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide via Facebook and YouTube. We are expanding. You can locate us on 7 affiliate radio stations, rebroadcasting Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide segments around the globe. Come on, join the indie community.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. I'm Sabrina Taylor, influencer, creator, founder of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. So glad that you're here. My special guest is smiling. So glad to see the smile. Philip Brandon is with us. He's shared so much and just an interesting life. Your journey is definitely one that I hope other artists listen to. Don't be afraid to venture. Don't be afraid to say yes, because that thing in the back of your mind that, oh my goodness, what if?
Yeah. Absolutely. You have to say yes. You have to
Yep,
if I just can add this portion,
you better.
you have to
Mhm.
if you are a creative, if you're given a gift,
Yeah,
there you have to share. There's no other option you have. It's a requirement that you share it in some way, shape, or form. And if you
yeah,
try to hold it back, it's only going to be to your detriment as well as to everyone else's, right? Because it's still going to be burning in the back of your head no matter what. And so you
true.
might as well just go ahead and start sharing.
Just do it.
Hmm.
That's the thing. Just do it. Well, I posed a question. Well,
Yeah.
I asked you to kind of think about something before we went to break. Um, that special moment that you shared with maybe a major artist that if you call their name, we would definitely know who that is, who's kind of influenced you, so to speak. Is there somebody that you've met along the way where you can share
Well,
that moment?
yeah, I've met a couple people, and it's always hard for me to narrow it down. So I always like to kind of give a little bit of a couple, if you don't mind. So one was with a particular, and he's actually an actor, but I always like to give this moment because I am an actor as well, and I was able to do this national commercial with Kevin Hart, and we were uh, on set for about 5 days or so. So at the end of the 5 days, when they were about to wrap me, uh, they were like, "Okay, Philip's all done. He's wrapped." And then he had his people bring me over to where he was, and he looked at me and said, "Man, you're super talented. And I want you to know this is only the beginning." You
Oh,
know, and I'm sitting there just like, "Oh wow!" Like that was incredible, right?
sure.
Another really really special moment that I had was I got a chance to I was doing the musical of BB Winans musical was called Born for This, and so
Um,
I was on as a I was covering one of his brothers, Ron Winans, and I went on and he said he wanted to have time to rehearse with me, and I'm like, oh, that's incredible, you just want a one-on-one rehearsal with BB Winans. Okay. Now you're like,
sure thing.
sure thing and no pressure, right? And
None.
so, and so he's asking me things and he's just like, hey, is how's this key for you? What do you think? And I'm just like, you actually want to know? Like, yeah, it feels great, but he was really, really just super down to earth and just took his time and saying, making sure that I was comfortable doing the production with him. And then the last one that I'll mention is it's
We could
when I got a chance
really.
to work with when I got a chance to work with Gerald Albright.
Oh, talk
So
about that one. Yeah.
so first of all he said yes to doing a song with me, and I was just like, wow, that is incredible in and of itself. And so he comes back and he's like, oh man, this is a great tune, and I'm just like, oh, thank you, this is cool. And he's like, great arrangement, great all this stuff. And so then he does his thing on it, and then he comes back to me and he's like, hey, he's like, so what I just did there, was that okay? Did you need anything? And I'm like, you're asking my opinion about you're the legendary what? And so I'm like, yeah, it was incredible. What are you talking about? Was it okay? So just that moment there was super special for
Um,
me because it it
yeah,
it let me know how important it was to him to make sure that he was still, as much as he's done in his career,
absolutely.
to someone, who I thought, little old me, he still wants to make sure that I agreed to do this. I want to make sure that is what you want, what you like. And so that was such a special thing for me to experience,
Wow.
since it was also, in addition to me, performing the tune, it was also my first time producing a tune. So I was like, oh, this is, it
Wow.
was very special for me.
Don't you love the humility of people like that? You know,
Absolutely.
you're huge. You know the impact they've made in the world,
Hmm.
and then they want to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
are
want to make
you?
sure. Is this all right? Is this what you wanted?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
it's
my
more
God.
than all right, sir, but I appreciate you asking.
Oh my God, I love it. Oh my
I
God.
so appreciate you. you know.
Oh, that you care. That is, I love that. I love that. So I want to ask about this, and then we're going to kind of shift down into. You were talking about producing, and you're a writer, a storyteller.
Yeah.
So do you believe? And I'm sure the answer is yes. Do you believe in giving back? So
Oh my God.
paying forward.
1000%.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
is there a time that you were able to do that along your journey?
Yeah, so I try to do that at times, especially whenever it feels authentic. I really love, you know, either being whether it's being parts of events that deal with particularly uh, dealing with stuff. Things in the community, dealing with things with youth, things that I always say I like to try to bridge the gap between the practical or between the technical or what you learn in the school books and the practical of what it's like in reality, because that was something I kind of had to, finesse and learn on my own. So
Sure.
I like anytime, I'm talking with students who are either in conservatories or, I remember I did a tour off for my first EP back. This was about 10 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
we had a tour stop in San Diego, and I was able to connect with this conservatory school.
Oh,
Like it was like kids that were in. They were actually from, I think it was 13 through 17 through the high school, and I was able to have them on the show as well, and we did a song together, and they were able to jam, and their parents were excited. So it was something that was really, really cool and special to me. And I've connected with them even throughout the years, to see they're off doing some incredible things. I mean, touring the world, doing all these amazing things. And I'm just like, see, I knew it. Like that's so awesome. So anytime I get a chance to give back, I really, that's something that is special to me. It,
and doesn't that feel good?
it feels incredible.
Isn't it?
Absolutely
It's really
incredible.
incredible because when we do things outside of ourselves, it's not always about us. That's the thing that just moves my heart is knowing that I can serve you and you're so excited about it. I get excited because you're excited, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not here for me. I'm here for Philip. Philip's not here for himself. He's here for Keith or Colleen or
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. It's almost like that's almost at least equally, if not more rewarding than doing stuff, for myself, because I'm like, when you see someone's reaction, an authentic reaction to something that I'm doing that I wanted to do, like regardless of how they were going to react, and then they reacted, they're just like, "Oh my God, thank you so much for this," and I'm just like, "No, thank you for allowing me to do it." Like, what do you
Uh,
mean? Like this is something that I had to do. It wasn't something that I felt I had an option. Like that was something I actually had to do. So that's
had
a
to
very
do.
special feeling.
Absolutely, it is. And you mentioned your EP. When I tell you, I love when things just flow the way that they're supposed to. I wanted to start talking about the musical part of you and the products that you've put out, the time spent, the writing, the collaborative efforts. So, to date, how many projects do you have that any person anywhere can just go and pull from a digital platform and listen to?
So I have two studio projects, two studio albums. One is the EP. It was a 5-song EP I did back in 2013, I believe it
13.
was.
Yep. Hmm.
And then I have a full length CD that I did released in 2017.
Right.
And both of those are available everywhere. And then also I have the new single that came out with Gerald Albright that is also digitally everywhere they can pull.
I
So
know. I love it. So the first EP though, were there any major players on that, or were there? people that you had met that collaborated with you on that. Talk a little bit about your first EP in 2013.
So my first EP, I had met a gentleman who goes by the name of Dr. Ford, and he is a producer extraordinaire. He was based here in LA. He's now based out of Nashville. And I really enjoyed one of the things I really enjoyed. He had just finished the Musicians Institute here in LA, so he was still kind of young and fresh, but he had an incredible ear. And so, me just kind of telling him the thoughts of what I had and what I envisioned in my songwriting and stuff, he was able to really kind of finesse some things and get together some amazing players. Like he used two. His name is Joel Van Dyke. He's a awesome guitarist. He is the MD for Aloe Black, and then also Gonzalez, I believe is his last name. He's the bass player for Aloe Black. So I was able to use both of those guys on the entire album there, and he was just sonically able to come up with some really cool soundscapes and things that kind of allow me, I always say, to get the crazy out of my head, just like, hey, this is what I'm hearing, can make sense of it, and he was able to do that. So that was something that was really, really cool off that album.
Wow. So it was self-titled.
It was
Philip Brandon.
self-titled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it was
how
kind of like
fun.
my intro to the world. I'm like, okay, can I give it a name, or let's just make it self-titled. Let's let
So
everybody hear these two first names.
and it was very um eclectic, if you will. Just a fusion of different sounds and rhythms and tonalities, and I truly enjoyed it. And the song "You," I told him, he had a little riff in there. It sounded like Will Downing. And even in the promo that you did of yourself for the show, you're like, hey, what did you say? Hey guys, or I can't remember what it was.
Probably, hey, what's going on?
Something like that. Good God. I had to do a double take. I said, is that Will? Is that Will? Oh my
Yeah.
God. Your
Yeah, Will
voice.
is incredible. He's incredible. And I just have to put this little plug in there because he actually, from my last album, he actually played, he has a radio show that he hosts, and he actually played my single from my last album on there, and then gave me this awesome quote and was just, very kind. And then when he came and did a show here back in March here in LA, I reached out to him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, come on backstage." And I got a chance to introduce him and meet him in person and introduce him to my mom and my aunt. And he was doing all kinds of cool stuff like photo bombing my mom's selfies. And I mean, we just had a
Excellent.
great time. Yeah, he was just such a cool guy. And I mean, incredible voice. So anytime you know, I get put in that space, I'm just like, wow, because I mean, he's just awesome. Grew up
Yeah.
listening to him.
Wow. Wow. Well, the 2017 LP,
Yeah.
how many songs were on that? It wasn't your standard 10, right?
No, I think I had it was either 10 or 11. I think it may have been 11 on that
11, yeah.
one. Yeah.
And but you don't see that anymore. And I think because it's a singles market now. Um,
I've heard that so many
oh
times.
my
Like it's a
gosh.
singles market, it's a singles market. I'm like, okay, okay. But I still like to put out full bodies of work. It's like
I know.
that's the artist side of me. It's like, okay, well, take some singles from this full body of work.
Exactly. Exactly. Or create a bunch of singles and make it a full body of work.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you think you'll do that sometime
Oh,
soon?
1000%. That's what we're
Okay.
doing now. So
Yeah.
it's we're because I understand how the business is, and I say,
Mhm.
okay, well, it's a singles market. Let's put out single, but we for sure are going to. We're actually going to put out an EP towards the end of this year, a new
Yeah.
EP, yeah, and then we'll put out an LP probably if not next year, then the year after. So we're just we're doing singles. We're introducing and trying to get more folks to listen to some of the stuff, and then gain more family members and keep the train going.
That train is on the move. I listen, for real, for real. I've been listening to your music all week. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes. Hello. How do you think I know all this? Because I've been listening to you. And fam, I love Mystery. That's the latest single that is out. So when I saw the title Mystery, I thought, yeah, certainly that's not Anita Baker Mystery. What's the first thing that came to my mind? Out of all honesty, I did not know
Hmm.
that you had covered her tune. So I said, okay, well let's take a listen. I think my mic is gone. Hang on for a second.
Okay.
Tell them something because my mic is. I don't know how long my mic has been unplugged. Can you guys hear
Oh,
me okay?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah. Well, the light's now on. I just happened to look down there, and the little plug was just
Uh,
laying on top of the table there. I said, "Oh,
now, now we hear you even better.
I don't know how long it's been unplugged, but it was. Oh, but
That
I
was the unplugged mic reveal.
that's cool. Let me look. You see me? I'm writing it down.
Right? Yeah. Like, let me.
Because this comes out of my phone. It's a little.
Oh, see, look
Um,
at that
mhm.
technology
Tech,
nowadays.
don't you love it?
I
Because
love it, even though some of it I still don't know how to use, but I like to buy it and try and act. It's like because I have one of those too, so I'll just sit up here and just,
you
you know, well, I can't even get. See, that's how little I use it. I
can't
sit up
even
here and I
get it
go
out.
like this, and then I'm saved. And where did it go? I don't
I
know.
don't
It's
you
but I did something somewhere, so it's on there.
oh my God, you remind me of Will Downing.
I just do it like okay, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. All right, cool, done. Now when I go back to look for it, I'm like, okay, let me put on my glasses. Maybe that'll help. I don't.
Oh, I love this. Oh my God. Don't you guys just love Brandon? I promise you, I do. See, I told you I do.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just let her have this one. I'm gonna let her have it. I knew it was going to come up at least once. I said it's bound to come up at least. If my best friends in the world can only remember Brandon, then I know it's going to come up at least
So you guys, we've got this private joke, right?
once.
So well, maybe those who just came in, I said, you got two first names, right? He says, yeah, and my best friends, in the whole wide world. Some of them introduce me as Brandon, but my first name is Philip. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And guess what I just did? I called him Brandon, but at least that's his name.
It's still there, and I still
Still is.
acknowledge it. I was like, yep, here I am.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God, you're ruining my makeup. It is so much fun tonight. I love this. Okay, so getting back into the professional mode,
Yes.
let's talk about mystery. So,
Uh,
how, what made you decide to cover? Because I've never heard a man cover any Anita Baker tune, right? And
yeah.
so when I heard the riffs and the rhythms, because at the very beginning, I didn't know what was happening. And
Yeah.
then as I listened, I was like, no, he's not. Oh, he's going to do Mystery by Anita Baker. Talk about what inspired you to do that.
So okay, so Mystery was originally done by the Manhattan Transfer back in '83. Okay, so I got a chance to open for the Manhattan Transfer here in
Oh,
LA in
cool.
2018, right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't know at that time that they had originally done it. So after I did my set, I got a chance to hang out with them backstage, and I went and watched the show. And
Yeah.
when I watched the show, they started doing this song that sounded so familiar, and I'm like, oh, wait, they're covering Anita Baker. That what I'm thinking. They're covering Anita Baker's tune. That's awesome.
See?
And so and so then that got me to thinking because I thought about it and I said, it's a song that everybody knows, but we don't hear it that often. The
Mm,
radio doesn't play it that often.
I
they
love
don't
it.
even do it that often live in their shows.
That's right.
Like Anita, like think about it. Anita, some she'll do it sometimes. She doesn't do it every show.
That's
And so
right.
I said, I think that would make a great cover, right? Something that isn't overdone,
Yep.
but something that is so familiar. And most people end up doing exactly what you just said. They're like, oh, oh wait, this is and that's exactly what's happened. So it was like, aha, my plan worked. No, but no, so it was one of those things of me just kind of thinking like, hey, I think this will make a really, really cool cover. And because I am a bass baritone vocalist, a
Yes, you
lot of
are.
times, people just don't sing in that register unless you're, an amazing Will Downing anymore or something,
That's
so
right.
they don't sing down there that often. And so
Mm-hmm.
I said I just wanted to, kind of play with all the parts of my voice as much as I could. So
Right. Wow. So how did we get the incredible, mm-hmm, incomparable,
uh-huh.
mm-hmm, Gerald Albright on this song with you? How did that happen?
So I got to a place and we had a fun time of a crazy part of 2020 into 2022
True.
where everybody experienced the same thing. And one of the silver linings that came out of that for me with all of the craziness that was going on was,
Mhm.
you know what, shoot your shot, ask. You won't know unless you ask. So I just
Huh.
reached out to him. I looked on his website. I found his, information to his management and stuff, and I was like, let me just ask. Okay, sent. And he actually got back to me.
No
So
way.
he got back. He's like, hey, let me know. He's like, I checked out your website. I like your stuff. Let me know what you were thinking. And so after I picked my mouth up and being like,
Hello.
okay, let me get this. I hadn't got this far in my brain yet. Okay, so now what do I, so reached out and then he said, yeah, I would love to do it. And so we just started going back and forth and it was,
Wow.
yeah. And then the rest is history. And as far as and again, like I said, it was my first time producing something, like saying, normally I have an idea and then I go to the producer and I say, hey, this is
Sure.
my idea. Can you put it together? But this
Right.
was my first time saying, let me put everything, this is the mix I want. This is this is where I want the song to go. This is how I'm feeling it here. Can we change this stuff? This is the tempo, everything. And so it was a monumental task, but I'm so happy that I was able to do it. So
That's amazing. Did
thank
y
you.
Wow. And I'm so glad you did because it just, like, put the icing on the cake.
Wow, thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. Now it was one thing that it was an Anita Baker cover,
Mhm.
and then I started hearing everybody knows who's musically inclined and then some not. They know when they hear Gerald Albright. I mean, he has a sound.
He has a very specific sound.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
I heard that, I said, "Oh, no, he didn't." Anita and Gerald Albright?
Yeah.
Well, so this song, it's it's definitely it was a surprise. You guys, I want you to listen to hear it because it's time for the music premiere. I have giggled myself to the end of the show. This gentleman right here is so funny. You have missed you. I'm going to put you on the Chitlin circuit, and we're gonna make a little money.
We're gonna make fun. We gotta do we gotta tag team it.
Oh my god! But you're so incredibly talented, and for you to think like that outside of the box, nothing beats a failure but a try.
But a try.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he
We
said
got
yes.
he
Well,
said yes.
he said yes. Well, that yes is what you guys are going to hear tonight. You're going to enjoy it. I know I did. I've been listening to it all week. I mean, I already know the song, but his version is very, very nice. So, Mystery, done by our special guest today, Philip Brandon. See, I know your name. And it features the incomparable Gerald All right, you're going to love it. So we'll be back in about 4 minutes. So enjoy, and we'll be right back. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Turning back the hands of time, holding on to misty memories, chasing shadows through the night, trying to find my happy ending. Reaching out for another chance at heaven. We'll find a way if we try. Baby, believe in the mystery like it used to be. More than lonely drifters in the dark. I can remember the sun inside. Love held us tight. I need to feel your magic here tonight instead of tearing apart. Diamonds shining in the night, lying soft and warm together. Only images survive. Can't my dreams go on forever? Oh, there's still time. Lock away your sadness. Let the secrets of love start to smile. The mystery it used to be. The tender days, the love we made. Lonely spirits seem to whisper in the wind. It's a silent song that's never meant to be. Since the dawn of time, the mystery never ends. We could find forever if we let love rise again. Tell me why can't we reach for another chance at heaven? We could still find a way if we try. Baby, believe me. Yeah, yeah. I can't remember the sun inside. Here tonight.
This is just absolutely breathtaking. Oh my
Wow.
God.
Thank
I-
you.
it I mean, you sit there and it's like, okay, I know who sings this, but my God. I know who sings this, but oh my goodness. Let's see. We've got, oh my gosh, we got comments. We got fire and fire and fire and more fire.
Oh, that's
Um,
so cool. I wish I could see it. Unsigned.
you gotta go to the page.
Let's see
See,
here.
here's Colleen. See her fire? Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's
See,
cool.
there's fire all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I,
That is
I told,
awesome.
I told you.
Thank you, Ron. That's
I
cool.
I told you. Yes, indeed. Just amazing song. And Gerald Albright put his stamp on it, and then I mean it's just beautiful. This is at radio, right? It's gotta
This
be.
is at radio.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my
And
god.
then we made number 2 on the iTunes jazz charts with this song. We shot up to number 2 on it on the debut. So that
I'm
was
so
really, really
proud of you.
cool.
I'm so proud of you. I'm
Thank you.
absolutely proud and so well deserved. Well deserved.
Thank you so much.
So when someone hears you for the first time, what is it you want them to take away?
I want them to take away I always have this saying that I kind of have I'm on this journey of hope that's navigated in love, right? And so
Yeah,
I just want people to feel that I always love feel good music. And so that doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be fast, slow, this and third. Whatever, there's something that makes you feel, period.
sure.
But then feel good. So
Yeah.
that's my aim, and to always have a positive message that's in there, but just not doesn't kind of beat you over the head with it, but just to feel good in the space of that. I like to live in positivity.
Wow. And then there was so much other stuff that we didn't cover, like on the theatrical side, because you're a storyteller.
Yeah,
It just and lately I've had so many artists who are so layered, multi-layered, that's
yeah,
like you just gotta cut see all the more reason that you've gotta come back and
absolutely, duh.
it's
Like,
home. I mean, come on, you don't
it's
even need an
done.
invitation anymore. Oh my gosh, and you gotta come back, and I want you to talk about that because, um, you were in the Color Purple as
Yeah,
well?
yeah. I
Yeah.
toured with the Color Purple for like 2.5 years throughout the US and Canada and everything. And I mean, it was just incredible. That was actually one of the things that got me into to going towards the acting side. Because I was like, oh, this is something else that kind of it opens up that world for me. And
Oh my god.
yeah, so the Color Purple. Before that, I did the Lion King in Hong Kong, and I mean, it's just been some really incredible things. I tour with the Trans Siberian Orchestra. It's such a blessed. I'm so blessed, and I'm grateful for all of the blessings that I've been able to experience, and hopefully will continue to experience. So it's such a cool thing.
Well, we definitely want people to follow you. The website's up. The socials are scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We definitely want you to follow this gentleman because there are great things in the horizon for you. I mean, it's just going to go up, up, up. And we're
Thank
just
you,
so
thank
so
you.
godly proud of you. And I'm sure family is just tickle pink, right?
Yeah, they are. It's funny because they're just kind of like we're all on the journey together, and they're just like, wow, this is cool. And sometimes even my mom, she's like, she sees things that I don't even see. She's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be really busy, so we got to make sure we move this around and do this because you're gonna be on the road and do that. I'm just like, oh, thank you. She's like, oh yeah,
Okay.
it's happening. I'm just like, all right, cool.
Moms know. Moms
Mom
know.
knows.
Yes,
Yeah.
they do. Yes, they do. Well, it has been so refreshing and it has been just truly an honor having you on and sharing and laughing and listening to your music and just finding out so much about you. And that's what this platform is about, telling the story of the artist. And sometimes 1 hour is just not enough. What are we going to do? I gotta figure that one out.
You
I'm
weren't
gonna
lying
find
when you said it goes by quick. I'm like, oh wow.
it's gone. It is gone.
Yeah. Well, I just
But
wanted to really quickly say thank you so very much for having me. It's an absolute honor to be here. Thank you for what you're doing for us indie artists, unsigned artists. It is. I mean, I can't thank you enough. It's been wonderful being on this platform. Thank you for sharing your platform with us.
you are so welcome. Look at that. He's trying to mess up my what's left of my makeup. He's trying to
Just
mess
being
it up
honest.
too. Oh, but anytime we want you to return, definitely give you some space and time to get out there because, well, I mean, you're already out there. But to do what you do at a higher level, there are so many levels left. Um, d- Untapped. Mom
Yeah.
knows. She said it.
Mom does know. Yeah. She's like, yeah, you're not gonna be able to do that because you're gonna be too busy. Okay. Okay. All right.
She said it, and it's going to happen. Absolutely. So when you find time to come back and just sit and chat with us, hopefully by that time, I will have a face to face studio and we can really just sit in that studio and chat. And
That would be
um,
awesome.
wouldn't that be?
That would be so cool.
That's the next step. That's the next
Yeah.
step.
And that
Well,
microphone will be plugged in.
I know, and it's still there. I think I barely put it in, and then as I tightened something, it just fell right out. Just, but as long as you guys could hear me, that's fine.
You're good.
Well, I want to thank my guests, the viewers. We want to say, Philip and I want to say thank you for tuning in because there's so many other podcasts out there that you could have been listening to. I mean, we've got people from the UK who come on every week faithfully, so you know it's morning time there.
Wow. Yeah, I
It's
just thought about the time difference.
hello.
Whoa.
It's 6 hours different from Central Standard Time. Hello. And they are right here with us. So I am just so humbled. And almost every week you can find them here, from the UK with us. So thank you guys so much. I don't know what other comments I have here. Um, Thank you so much, sweetheart. Colleen says, bring him back, and we will. Outstanding. Thank you guys so much. Listen, remember what you make happen for others, God will definitely make it happen for you. Hang out for just a second, Philip. And you guys, I love you. I'll see you next week. I got a special guest. I mean, I always have a special guest, but you know who's coming? Um, Let me get my handheld. I want you guys to start sharing because I'm going to put this out probably tonight. I'm not sure, but coming next week, I haven't had her. She's been on. Who knows? And we're definitely going to get out of here. Who knows who's been on this platform at least 4 times? Who can tell me who that person is? And that is who is coming next week. Anybody know who's been on the platform about 4 times? Well, if you don't know, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. Oh, Ron, I tell you that Ron Lefford, he always gets it right. That's right. Selena Albright. She is coming on Monday, July 1st. And when I tell you, it is going to be a party because Selena Albright is like my sister. I love her and she's coming next week. So you do not want to miss it. So listen, everybody. Listen, you have a great week. You come back, bring a friend. And I'm going to get that promo together. And I want you guys to help me share that my sister, Selena Albright, is coming back to the platform. All right, you guys, I love you. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. And I'll see you next week.